Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode. I couldn't decide if I wanted to say new or another episode of Make Up Your Life. I am co-host, but hosting my co-host, Kelsey Reynolds. I'm Matthew Klink. Kelsey, you got to hear me say it. I actually introduced myself. How about that?
Yes, you did.
We are coming to you. Second straight episode is recorded here, and you know what? I gotta clarify, because you know how I am in these episodes. I overcomplicate my explanations, but I watched the first video that we recorded over and over, and what really bothered me was that I said first recorded episode, and what I meant to say was first episode on video. And then I just said it again. And I think I've watched that video. Right. I've said that video or watched that video so many times that it bothered me to no end. So yes, that obviously that last video we put out was the first video, but not the first episode. So I nailed that. Chronologically, could you imagine us actually recording a COVID-19 episode back in December? That would be, I think the FBI would have to get involved. But anyway, we are here with second recorded episode through video, and I have Kelsey here. And unfortunately, yes, we don't have Kelsey's video, and we are just gonna let's just see what happens. Let's just keep rolling here. It'll be my video, but you can see when Kelsey chimes in, she's got a beautiful picture of her modeling work that it should pop up. So I'll just say it should. There's probably a chance that when we look back on the video later, it'll just be me talking, and then maybe it'll just pop up underneath and say Kelsey. But that's how these things work when Matt doesn't have the patience to stop the recording and test it. No, we're just gonna roll, because whatever's going on, it's gonna happen in post anyway, right? Because we're not doing your video, so that's just how it's gonna happen. All right, so everybody gets to see my lovely face for 30 minutes here or whatever. But Kelsey, I think I've done enough talking. You are my co-host with this show, and unfortunately, just for timing and us trying to get some other episodes in, I think we are running on 3 straight episodes where unfortunately it's just me. We ran into scheduling issues, just miscommunications on my part. So this is going to be the reintroduction of Kelsey back into the show. So what better way to do that than to actually give Kelsey the chance to tell her story on how makeup got into her life. So here we are. Like I said, a minute ago, I've talked enough. So I'm repeating that, which is fun. Just the context and the idea and the philosophy behind me saying that over and over. And here I am still talking. Kelsey, how are you doing today?
Hi, Matt. It's good to be back.
I'm sure you missed this. I'm sure you are like just deep down going, oh my God, I miss so much his never-ending sentences.
I honestly do.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad,
because every time we're talking together, every time I've been listening to the past 3 podcasts where I haven't been present, but every time I listen to you and the guests, I'm just smiling. It's so much fun to talk to you and listen to you talk.
Well,
but it's good.
I'm flattered.
It's good to be back. It's good to be back.
So
yeah, how are you?
Just fine and dandy. Obviously, as we all are right now. If you, we were just talking about the last episode about how much fun that was to record. I think.
Oh yeah.
I think at this point, even the things we said in that episode, things have changed so much from that time. I almost don't want people to go back and watch it, because there's things that we said that are now dated and are old news and will actually steer you in the wrong direction. But there are some good notes, and I think some notes that Kelsey, you'll touch on today, because we did talk quite a bit about sanitation conversation, how Multimedia Makeup Academy has been in the very high in the sanitation sector for makeup and the makeup industry for quite a while. And it just so happens that now, this is a necessity. And what we wanted people to know is that if they need that education, number one, it's we cut the price in half actually from what you normally would spend to get certified with sanitation conversation. So obviously search out if you go to mma-makeupacademy.com, it's actually a pop-up that'll load up. So yes, I am putting some business in here, so forgive me, everyone.
Yeah, but
Pop-up
it's
loads
important
out.
business.
Exactly.
It's important business.
You'll have a pop-up load up. It'll direct you to the sanitation conversation purchase page. And the reason that was so important, and Jen did a fantastic job last week explaining it, is that you are going to get the information, but more importantly, for you to differentiate yourself in this new world that we live in, right? It's completely different from what it was 2 months ago, a month ago. This new world that we live in, you need to, number one, be educated. And number two, you need people to be able to figure out that you are that educated person, which is where this education and where we have our pins, and we have what you can label yourself as certified in sanitation. Those are those next steps for you as a makeup artist, or you who is maybe deciding if you want to be a makeup artist. What are you going to need to do to make sure people will trust you and your work? That's where that is. That's where that's located, and that's how you can start to differentiate yourself now. And again, it would be a completely different thing if we doubled, tripled the price. No, nay. This is something that we had to lower the price because we know that right now it's incredibly important that people start to educate themselves. And it's one of those things that's just get in there, get the education, you'll be better off. The community around you will be better off. Your clients will be better off. So again, I think it's more of a responsibility kind of thing that we're mentioning that than anything for this show.
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't get anything for saying that, so I can give that quick plug. I can say that and mean it. But with all that being said, sort of a repeat of one of the bigger messages last week. Kelsey, let's pivot away because I think I've done enough to remind people of the terrible situation we're in right now. But let's start talking about people getting into makeup. Let's not forget that the main vision of this podcast was to tell people that this is a viable industry. This is one that can have a lot of fun, flexibility, and it's never too late. So for you, Kelsey, I think never too late was very far from I think your situation, because you are so young, and you made a choice early on in life to follow. I guess you made a pretty clear line. This is where my passions are. This is I want to use art and creativity in my work, and I only see smiles when you're around the office. So I can only imagine that this isn't just a passion and something you're good at, but something that you love to do. So let's figure it out. Kelsey, let's play the game.
Yeah.
What were you doing
before
MMA? Oh no, did you break out? There you
MMA?
go. There you go.
Yeah, we had a moment.
All right.
Let's see. What was I doing before MMA? Before MMA, I mean, if we want to start previous to college, I came out of high school not knowing what I wanted to do at all. I was going to my first year of college. It was a private Christian college, and I thought, okay, well, maybe I want to go into theater. And so I auditioned for the theater company for the college, and I got in, and went through the whole year. Thought, I really love this, and I really love acting, and I still do love acting right now. But it's just not for me. So I ditched the acting thing. I went through another 2 years of college. So this is now year 3 of college at now a, private, private college, not a private college, a public college, OCC. I went to OCC for 2 more years after the private college. I haven't told this story in a long time. Sorry.
It's okay.
Getting my details straight. So come year 3 of me going to college, not really knowing what I wanted to do, ditching the theater thing, I was like, you know what? I got to figure something out. So I took a year off. I decided to go do the Disney college program. Came back from that and still had no idea. So now this is like year 3.5 out of high school that I'm thinking, okay, well, people are supposed to know what they're doing. People are supposed to be graduating college, and I'm not even remotely, there. I don't have a degree. I have an associate's. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
Um, so the fall of that year comes around, and I decided, you know what? I want to do a little bit of acting, and this is the point where I was really starting to get into special effects makeup, like self-teaching,
Okay.
I had some YouTube videos, and I wasn't really into the whole, let's be spooky for Halloween necessarily. I
Okay.
don't like haunted houses. I don't like scary movies.
Oh man.
But I
See,
love
now
the makeup. I know.
that is huge because you're probably sick of hearing this because you've probably said that statement before, but I would have totally pegged you the other way. I would have thought a million percent that you are a horror buff or you love haunted houses. This is crazy. But yeah, not to throw your whole story out of whack, but
No,
I totally would have thought that.
no. You know, and it's funny because everybody does, like you said.
Yeah. Well,
Everybody
like
thinks, like, oh, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, let me so I'm taking a look at our like our analytics for Multimedia Makeup Academy's Instagram. And we
Yeah.
have not only like the top liked post, but this post also got us the most followers. It has the most engagement. It is the work that you did that we've posted a couple times over the last year, but this is just one specific post that blew up. But it's your gore work, and that right there would have just told me, yeah, she did gore work, so she must have absolutely adored horror films and like zombie shows and The Walking Dead kind of thing. So to that end, you've done the work that is our most successful post on MMA. But this is
Oh my gosh.
this is the part to me that's jaw dropping, that it doesn't follow that line. But no, I mean, go ahead. I guess what we could pull from this, right, is that for special effects, you don't necessarily need to come in being, a major fan of John Carpenter's The Thing, which I'm only mentioning because I saw an amazing piece of art from Greg Nicotero earlier today on Instagram.
Oh,
Anyway,
yes.
but you don't have to come in loving that, right? It can be somewhere else, and you could still put together without that background the most popular post on Multimedia Makeup Academy's Instagram. But no, sorry. I hope that you stayed focused that whole time I was talking, that I went off on that wild tangent, but continue. So, yeah.
Well, and it is funny. I really surprised my parents with the career path that I chose.
Yeah.
I mean, to be completely honest, yeah, I'm really just now starting to get into actually enjoying, scary movies, and I still don't do the haunted house thing, but I can't do them. We little side
just
tangent.
the Haunted Mansion, right?
It's, oh my gosh. Okay, granted, I love that movie. Disney's Haunted Mansion is great. But no, I can't do haunted houses. We watched.
I brought that up because of the Disney college program thing. Are you
Yeah.
telling me that you will not ride the Haunted Mansion ride?
Okay, I'm not actually. Here's the funny thing. When I was little, my family, we take a trip down to Orlando every year to visit some family, and usually we end up doing at least a day at Disney. Yeah. And when I was younger, I refused to get on that ride. I would kick and scream and sob. It was not happening.
Right.
Now,
there's actual
it is
ghosts in that building. Oh, okay, good.
Okay, no, but actually there is. Don't joke about that. That building, it's creepy. Oh my gosh.
What's the number? Is it 99? 99 creepy haunts and ghosts or something, or 100. I can
Oh
never
yeah,
remember.
there's
Like 100. It's
there,
like 1,099. I can't remember. Anyway, let me stop running your story off track. Go
oh no, no,
please
no, it's
continue.
good. Anyway, so back on track. I decide, we're back in fall, of year 3 of going to college, not knowing what I want to do. I decide in the fall, okay, I want to do some acting, and you know what? I think it'd be really fun if I went to this haunted house and acted in their house. I'll even dress up for it. It'll be great. So I'm probably, I'm using eyeshadows and lipsticks and really like drugstore products to put together this look to go to this audition. And so I decide, and I'll actually send you the picture, Matt, eventually
Oh,
of
good.
the makeup that I did to go to this haunted house because
Yeah.
it's it's a fun one. I did my face, like half burnt, and it took
Ooh.
me forever to do. My
Yeah.
parents thought I was crazy going into this audition. They're like, "You're gonna walk in there and they're gonna think you're nuts." Like it's just an audition. I said, "Mom, Dad, listen, you got to make an impression."
Yeah, you
So
gotta
we go
set
in.
yourself apart.
Yeah, exactly. So I go into the audition, and here comes over this lovely, lovely lady who I learn is Nicole Deal.
Uh
Nicole Deal. Yes, we know about Nicole.
yeah,
So
two-time guest on the pod.
yeah, yeah. We know all about Nicole. So she walks over, and I'm pretty sure, and she is probably gonna give me, a bunch of crap for this because I may not get the story completely right. But
Eh.
somebody, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, she'll get over it.
Somebody comes over to me and they're like, "Hey, let's see your audition. Do the audition." They're like, "Also, before you go, did you do your own makeup?" I said, "Yeah, actually, I did." They said, "Perfect. We have somebody we want you to meet." So right then and there, I meet Nicole, and she is like, "Okay, perfect. We're gonna airbrush something. You ever airbrushed before?" And I said, No, I don't even know what an airbrush is." So she's like, "Perfect. This is how you use it. Let's see what you got." And it was like, "Oh my God, what?"
Right.
So I'm freaking out, literally freaking out. Um, and she asked me to do an airbrush makeup on the spot. And then I'm hired at Erebus to do part-time acting and part-time makeup, which ended up me being mostly makeup, which was totally fine. I loved it. It was amazing. My machine broke all the time. Nicole was a blessing to have. She fixed it for me a million over, but
Well,
it was
that's
a
good.
great experience to have. And I guess, yeah, and I guess technically it was my first time I ever got paid to do makeup. And I sat on that for a while, I really didn't do anything with it. I kept, just pushing through and teaching myself different stuff, posting on my Instagram every so often, still going to college and doing the whole I don't know what I want to do with my life degree thing.
Yeah.
And then yeah, and eventually my grandma asked me, she was like, "You really don't like college. What about, this makeup academy? You've been talking about makeup and you're doing makeup. What about this makeup academy?" Well, that was not the second time that MMA was brought up to me because Nicole had mentioned, at the throughout Erebus that, if you really want to go into makeup, you should probably go to MMA. I went there, and that's when I sat on it. And
Yeah.
then my grandma had mentioned it again, so that's the second time. It's like, all right, you know what? Let's check into it. And like at this point, all right. I really didn't have anything to lose. I wasn't going for anything in college. I wasn't necessarily happy with, what I was doing. So I figured, this is going to be a great avenue. And I signed up for an open house. And
Well,
that's
I
kind of
mean,
where my MMA journey began.
it
Yeah.
has to be mentioned for all you grandparents and parents out there listening. If you have a good kid, it's your job to make sure you talk them out of going to college, because we'll stick on that track forever. You know, sad saps that we are. When we're good kids, we just do as we're told, and then we we need. It can't be the running into Nicole at at Erebus, or the times that it sounds like you said Nicole asked you to check it out. No,
Yeah.
it's the third time, and it has to be the family that. You know what it is? It's got to be one of those things where, if you weren't going to school, and I mean you in the general sense, not you, Kelsey, but as an individual, like think about. If you're in those trouble spots and you have your family telling you to do like you need to go back to college, you need to go to school, figure stuff out. Like, you're not going to listen to that until you have a friend tell you, hey, your parents are probably right. You should probably go back to school.
Yeah.
Then when it's leaving school, like when you're in it, you can't just listen to your friends and have them tell you, no, man, get out of school. You're not happy right now. Forget this. What you need is grandma. Grandma's got to do it. If there's any observation that I'm pulling from this right now, it is that when you're making the creative go for yourself choice, you need the family support. And I think that's probably the nicer way to put it. If I'm doing my, this is what I'm going to throw to the Comedy Store once I get my stand-up career going. This will go in my tight 10.
I love it.
But if you're making those crazy choices, right? If you're going off the wall, if you're choosing you, that's how we should put it. If you're choosing you,
you gotta listen to grandma and don't go to college.
Perfect. So you're at MMA. Well, give me some thoughts on like what did you do to pick your program? Because you and I know a little bit more than some of the guests we've had on here aren't even MMA students, but
right.
I know there's a ton to choose from, and you do some work with Erebus. You meet Nicole. You've done some airbrushing stuff. So what did you see that you were like, all right, this is the program I'm going to pick? And actually, lead off. Let me know exactly what was the program that you went with.
Yeah, the program I took the master's program, so
gotcha.
I ended up
that was gonna be my guess, but I didn't want to say it until I knew it. Okay, so you go with the master's program. What goes into that decision for you? Like, what do you think people need to see in themselves to make that choice to go into the master's program?
Yeah, I mean, to be completely honest, being from the student perspective, and then now from an alumni perspective, I honestly am so glad that I was able to do the master's program, because now I'm trained in everything. You know, that I think the defining factor was quite simple, actually, Matt. It was, do you want to get educated in the stuff you want to get educated in, or do you want to get educated in everything and be a versatile artist that won't have to turn anything down? And that's something that I had a long chat with Brandy with, who's in admissions at the academy, and I had a long chat with my parents too. And of course Christina was there also, like, it's a good idea. And I think all of us just collectively together decided that if this is something that I was genuinely serious about and I actually wanted to make a career out of it, then why wouldn't I take everything and get the full education?
Right.
It would be foolish, because you're going to have to turn things down. And that's just a genuine answer. That's not me trying to promote, any program at the school necessarily. That's a genuine, honest. It would be right. You'd be missing out.
I think if you took that, take a step back and take a look at, what is any career, what is any the walk of life like? Not every moment, I think, is walking on rainbows. So I don't want I don't want to put down anything. Like you said you could go into the program that you wanted to go into, or you could get well-rounded. Well, what does well-rounded get you? The more opportunities. And I
Absolutely.
think if we're taking those steps and trying to get to those moments that are walking on rainbows and walking on sunshine,
Mm-hmm.
we've got to know that there's a lot of work that goes in between those moments. And for you to have those moments or the work in between mean the most, and especially get you the most payback. And I don't know if you can see me right now, Kelsey, but
Yeah.
I know I've still got my webcam going. If you're looking for those opportunities, obviously the way to have that shake out is going to be making sure that there isn't a job you can turn down. So I love that thought process, and I think it brings us into that idea that, I mean, what's the whole point of having this podcast is to have people realize, number one, it's never too late. Number two,
Mm-hmm.
to pick yourself for your passion. But number three, that this is extremely viable. And part of the ways that you make it viable as a career is you've got to do the business side of things. You've got to brand yourself out. You can either say, I just do this as my specialty. And then if
Right.
you get a job thrown at you, you have to turn it down because it's not your specialty. Or you can be the person with a specialty in 4 different areas and be well-rounded and have experience in a few different places. And then when you get those other job opportunities, guess what? You get to make yourself more specialized. I mean,
Absolutely.
it makes sense. Makes sense in my head. I'm a guy that as I do marketing, I'm constantly looking for those classes online to keep like upgrading myself. If it's not just like a platform and learning it, like if it's like Google Ads or Google Analytics, that I'm actually going through like somebody else's impression of like what is digital marketing, and I take their course, get their certificate, and boom, there I am. More,
Yeah.
at least from the sense, even if it's just like taking it from like makeup, and now I'm looking at marketing. If you learned makeup from one person, right? You only have that person's perspective. So when I take that
Right.
perspective of like digital marketing, and I'm looking for different places to learn, maybe even sometimes the same topics. Um, am I really truly getting like the full spectrum of what one topic can entail? Oh,
Right.
right.
And
So
the thing is too, Matt, is that even though, you want to be the most well-rounded, I'll say the person that's running marketing, you want to be super well-rounded in that, you're still going to have to take stuff that you don't necessarily find the most interesting,
oh yeah.
and but the thing is that I think it's so important for anybody going to any career, but since we're talking makeup specifically, that if you are like me and you are just interested in special effects and that's what fascinates you, well, guess what, sis? You're going to have to branch into bridal. You're going to have to branch into media. You're going to have to branch into avant-garde and get into those uncomfortable spots where you feel like, I'm not going to lie, you're going to feel like you're not good enough, but you have to keep practicing and practicing. And that's what makes you the well-rounded artist, is that you are going to be uncomfortable, but it is worth it in the end. Because I'll tell you right now, specifically working in Michigan,
Hmm.
um, I've done, I think I've done just about half and half of beauty and effects work, being out of school. Actually, I've probably done more beauty work than effects work, just with being in film, like we've, I know we've talked about this before, Matt, and,
Yeah.
separate occasions that, somebody has to be pretty before you make them ugly, and and it's true. And so if you're looking to, really set yourself apart, you got to realize that somebody is going to want to hire somebody who is able to do both things. They're able to do beauty and they're able to do effects. And for the fact of the matter, they're able to do hair too,
Yeah.
because you're going to want somebody who has the whole package. You got a hairstylist in one, you got a makeup artist who can do beauty, and you can have a makeup artist that loves blood. So
Well, it's
it
good.
really
I mean,
is.
this
Yeah.
conversation is great for anybody. Again, like we are hoping to hit some folks that are sort of just like considering this as an option.
Yeah.
for either a career or an education path. So I think, um, you know, especially now, like while we're like, there's a good chunk of the U.S. that is out of work right now because of
Yeah.
what's going on. So you do have to diversify yourself at all times. It seems like you have to have a side hustle going on, but just to keep coming back to making sure that when whatever's running dry, if we're back to normal and it's FX work is running dry, but you can still say, okay, well that's fine because I'm going to do this other stuff until there's more FX work that comes around. So it's
Right.
just, I think that idea, it seems like it always escapes us until these times, until I'm not going to call it the end times, but we get to these scary parts of life every now and then,
Yeah.
and sometimes we have to deal with it as an entire global population. And in those moments is where maybe we
Yeah.
see things most clear, and we start to go, "Oh shoot, I don't get to escape this. I'm in it. I am a part of
Right.
this." So I think this story, this is great timing for all this. So I know part of your work is helping me out. And
Mm-hmm.
I know, like you said, you're doing some beauty work, you're getting some FX work. I know when it's Nicole's looking for a buddy, and again, go back and listen to those Nicole episodes. Those were fun. Getting to know one of our instructors at Multimedia Makeup Academy. She's a sweetheart. She's the absolute best. But what do you see for yourself moving forward? So we know what you're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
What's that perfect life as a makeup artist?
Oh, well, the perfect life as a makeup artist. That is a tough question.
And I'm assuming too that you aspire to get to that point too. So
Yeah, of course I do. I think, I mean, I think I'm gonna repeat an answer that we've talked about before, Matt.
yeah,
To those who haven't heard a different interview between Matt and I think there's two trains of thought to the perfect life as a makeup artist, and I genuinely, truly do believe this. You can either be a world-renowned makeup artist that has all the money in the world, and that can make you happy, and if it does, fantastic. I don't know if it'll make me happy. Um,
yeah.
or, you can be a local makeup artist and, have your local stuff going on and have a solid group of people that you work with, and that could make you happy too. I think personally I fall somewhere right in the middle.
I like
I
it.
think yeah, I think I want to eventually move out of Michigan and go to a more industry centered place. Somewhere like Atlanta, I'm really thinking on. Um, I don't think I would vibe very well with LA. So it's not exactly my style, I don't think.
I gotcha.
Um, but I really don't know what's in store to me for me. I think that moving out of Michigan is in store. I think that big things are in store. Um, and I have really high hopes for myself and what I want to accomplish. But I can't really give you an exact, what does the perfect life for Kelsey look like? Because I'm really taking it, day by day, month by month. This time next year, I could be in Atlanta, or this time next year, I could be in LA. We don't know. But wherever I am, I think I actually know that I'm going to be happy.
I just, now my hope is that a year from now you are in LA and we come back and have another conversation and you're like, here's the thing. I know what I said, but
LA is the best. Nat, if I end up moving to LA, I will personally house you and your family for a week just so we can get an interview
hey,
in person
all
of
right.
me living the LA life, and I just want you to get on video what
Oh,
my
cool.
face says
Oh, cool.
about me living in LA, because I cannot see it happening.
And that's
Oh my gosh.
post tan and Botox, I'm
Yeah.
assuming.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Well,
If I'm moving to LA, we're gonna live it up.
Well, yeah, something's changed considerably, and something has moved you into a completely different direction. So there's going to be some major changes if that does happen.
Yes.
Well, Kelsey, I gotta thank you for letting me kind of force you into being our guest this week. I know you you like doing this as much as I do, so it can't hurt too much. But what I do encourage everyone to do, go back, check out the old episodes, because again, this is that opportunity for you to see how many different ways there are to get into special effects, and think about how Kelsey got into the beauty industry. Was working at Erebus, the haunted house in Michigan, the biggest haunted house coming out of Pontiac, Michigan. So that, I mean, that probably doesn't happen too often.
You really never know where your life is going to take you. I think my last word for people, Matt, is if you're listening to this and you really don't know where you're headed, but you want to go somewhere in the direction of makeup, just do it and see where you end up. You know, do it.
I like that.
Do it with passion. Do it with energy. Do it with integrity. But just freaking do it, because you're going to regret it if you don't. You know, This community is so great. It's filled with so many great things and so many great people. So come join us, you know?
Ooh, I like that. Come play with us. That's
come play with us.
Yes. But yeah, you can find your way playing with us. Jeez, that sounds terrible. No. MMA-makeupacademy.com. You can check us out. Obviously, right now we are encouraging everyone. I mean, shoot, we're recording. I'm I'm in my office at home. Kelsey, you are as well. And we encourage you to check out our virtual tours right now, because we are trying to keep everybody away from the building. And obviously now in the state of Michigan, that is the only way we are doing business, is from home. So I do encourage anybody who is interested, this is as easy as it gets, is now that we offer these virtual tours, an opportunity for you at any time to check out the Academy from the safety, convenience, yes, but from the safety of your home. So for the time being, I guess if somebody listens to this a year from now, they'll look back so fondly at this big scare. But anyway, stop talking about that. Check us out again, MMA-makeupacademy.com. I would appreciate very much. I know you could be listening or watching this on IGTV. You could be watching it on YouTube. I highly encourage you going over to Apple Podcasts or Google Play. Please follow us and subscribe. And if you do go to Apple Podcasts, give us a little review. We greatly appreciate that. That shoots us up in the rankings. And of course, you got a friend that's interested, share these amazing journeys. We're now up to 12 different journeys that we are sharing with folks, so that they know all the different ways you can get into makeup and how viable of a career it is. And you know what? We can't get through, unless we're talking about coronavirus. There, I said it. Unless we're talking about that, we can't get through an episode without giggling our way through. So obviously there's a lot of fun to be had in this career. So all that being said, the most important thing you can do to support the show is subscribe, rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, and share us with friends. And Kelsey, again, I'm glad to have you back. I missed you. And we should be forming up our spring schedule very shortly. I'm talking after this phone call. So we're gonna start putting some new apps together, and we'll be doing some trios, if not more, folks. So everybody, stay tuned. More journeys to come, more fun, and thanks for listening.